So for our industry, we did it on the music streaming industry. A little bit of background of it is music streaming has been on the rise since the early 2000s with the popularity of LimeWire and Napster, two big streaming websites where people were able to illegally download music for free. And because of that, uh, companies came out and made ways to make it legal for people to stream music that they like. Uh, in 2018, it made up 75% of all revenue in the music industry, and social media has been a major tool for streaming brands. You have so many of these platforms, brands on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, just advertising uh, celebrities and artists. And a current trend of streaming that there's a lot of exclusivity of albums for certain platforms, and it's gonna probably be a more occurring thing when streaming becomes a massive powerhouse in taking over the music industry. So for the backgrounds of the brands, the first platform that we were monitoring was Spotify. For its background, Spotify is one of the highest ranking and most used streaming services in the world. It launched in 2008 in Sweden as a startup company by by two owners, and in 2019, at the end of April, they had over 200 million users on the platform in terms of worldwide users. The company they target millennials. That's their main target. Since streaming is kind of a thing where a lot of people listen to on their phones, uh, the target of 18 to 24 millennials is who the people who are using their service, and the social media zone that they are in is under social entertainment due to being music. It's entertainment for people.
We will now take a look at Apple Music. The music streaming service launched in 2015 against established competition like Spotify and Pandora. The goal for the service was to make it easy to use. Apple targets a much wider audience demographic made up of many age groups and people. The social media zone is entertainment.
Apple Music is a service that is only supported on Apple iPhones, and it's very easy for Apple owners to use because it's already on their phone. They just have to sign up for the service. Apple's plan with Apple Music was to focus on a mass audience because Apple iPhones are popular all around the globe. So their demographics of those who use the service is relatively balanced out.
We will also take a look at SoundCloud, which was founded in 2007, was meant to be a music streaming service for collaboration and sharing. This service caters to a more niche audience, smaller user base made up of ages 18 through 24 that create music. Platform has a better sense of community compared to most music streaming services. Also, the social media zone is social entertainment. We will also take a look at a case study by Apple with Axe, SoundCloud per Axe, white label with artist Metro Boomin to showcase his story of turning aspiration into action. Metro created two classical remixes for Axe by modernizing classical songs to reach a sophisticated millennial audience. The remixes yielded over 1 million branded track plays.
During the course of 4 weeks, we were asked to analyze the three bands mentioned earlier on 3 different platforms, which were Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Each brand has their own way of raising awareness to their desired audience. However, those 3 platforms are completely different, and their intention is to grasp as many users and viewers as possible. In this slide, you can compare good content versus bad content. Good content, we compared each brand on how they post their content on each platform. And some brands posted the same content. Although they received different attention and responses to the same post, it was interesting to see that different brands and platforms make a difference to how their followers react to that same content. The good content post you can see here to your left, it has over 1,500 retweets and over 4,500 likes. That's a good response, showing that their followers are liking and retweeting. Now, for the bad content, it's just like we were able to identify the good content that was posted from each brand and good responses to platform. We also identify the bad content. Bad content is when the post did not receive many likes, shares, and retweets. And bad responses is when they receive no support from their followers and their followers post negative comments to the content posted by the brand. As you can see to your right, there's Spotify. It had posted bad content. A lot of people did not like it. There's only 2 comments which were not the nicest comments, and there's only 19 retweets and 94 likes. And that is how we were able to identify the difference between good content and bad content. Thank you.
After monitoring the social media accounts for Spotify, Apple Music, and SoundCloud, we were able to come up with a SWOT analysis that was associated with the brand's use of social media. For Spotify, the strengths included being well established and being the only platform that can share content directly onto Facebook and Instagram stories. They also have a strong connection with their audience on Twitter because they interact a lot through likes and replies using GIFs and emojis. A weakness is that they don't interact with their audience outside of Twitter. So on Instagram and Facebook, there's no interaction. An opportunity for Spotify would be to interact with their audience on Instagram and Facebook the same way they do through Twitter, and also to update their notes section on Facebook because it hasn't been updated since 2017. And there are a lot of important things that Spotify has been working towards that they can share with their audience through that. A threat would be that comments on their posts are not monitored, and that could lead to people posting offensive content onto their page. Moving on to Apple Music, some of their strengths include that they have sponsorships with music festivals like Rolling Loud and television shows like The Voice. Additionally, they also have a diverse following on their social media accounts. A weakness would be that they're not very active on Instagram and Facebook in comparison to the other brands. They will often go 3 days without updating their Instagram page. An opportunity for them would be to begin engaging with their audiences and to post actively on social media. They can also have artist takeovers on their social media to bring in more followers. A threat for them would be that because the Apple Music is only available on Apple products, that their content is not going to be relevant and important to people who don't have Apple phones. Moving on to SoundCloud, their strengths are that they post very frequently on social media. They have partnerships with the MLB, and they have a strong sense of community on their platform. A weakness is that they mostly promote artists that are not very well known. So an opportunity for them would be to expand their content and offer bigger artists a chance to be promoted on their platform, as well as having more interaction with their social media followers because they don't interact with them at all. A threat for them would be that other competitors do post small and big artists, and then also because SoundCloud is a niche platform for upcoming rappers and hip-hop artists, it might push other people away from following the platform because that's not the kind of music that they're into.
Here we have a graph showing the ranking of each brand according to levels of strength and relative effectiveness. Spotify with the maximum score of 5, Apple Music at 4, and SoundCloud at 3 points. Spotify was ranked with the highest value due to their high levels of engagement with its followers within both Instagram and Twitter. While Apple Music has more followers on Instagram, Spotify was more effective in their efforts and garnered more likes. Apple Music has great content, but they could use some work because it is not as entertaining or interesting as Spotify's. With a big spark, SoundCloud has the potential to blow up and catch up to the follow count that of Apple Music and Spotify. Although Facebook's demographics do not consist of many millennials, each brand can improve follower count overall by investing more time into creating content for this platform